And welcome to another weekly baseball rundown. I am Eric Lima of the Red Sox, representing the Red Sox. How y'all doing? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. It is the 15th of May, 2025, 10 p.m. Let's go talk to the panel here. Run down the panel. We got representing the Chicago Cubs, the North Side. We're talking about Mr. Josh Salisbury.
Good evening, sir.
And how you doing, Josh? I hope you're doing great.
Doing well.
And then representing the Houston Astros and one of my good buddies that we did the original baseball rundowns with, Mr. Jesse Ortiz, Jester and Chains.
How y'all doing?
And representing the White Sox is Brendan DeJesus, but he's away from the keyboard for right now. We'll get to him. And representing the world champ Los Angeles Dodgers and the other team, Seattle Mariners, Mr. Johnny Garfield. What's going on?
I'm repping I-5, I tell you.
I'll tell you one thing right now. Your Mariners, man, are on fire. I'll tell you. We'll get to that in just a moment. We got a couple of – let's get going. We got a couple of news. There he is. There he is, Mr. Brandon DeJesus, representing the South Side, the White Sox. How you doing there, Brandon?
All right, so guys, I'm back. I'm good.
Yeah, all right. You doing good? All right. Now we got the formalities out of the way. Let's get going on the baseball news. Rich Hill is going to the Royals, and that's going to really boost the Royals up because the Royals are really doing very well, despite the fact I'll talk about when the Red Sox face them in my team report. Also, Evan Longoria is retiring from baseball. One of the best players ever in the early 2000s and stuff. And I'll tell you one thing: is that it's sad he didn't win a World Series ring. He deserves to have a World Series championship. But anyways, and also we have the AL Central is no joke right now, because if the playoffs happen today, they would hold 4 playoff spots, because it's the Tigers. The Tigers are in first place in the Central, and I will get to them because they played my Red Sox this past week. Cleveland, Kansas City, Minnesota. Unbelievable. This ain't no AL Comedy Central, so that's for sure. And possibly the biggest hot topic, baseball, to come out of this week, which I was kind of shocked this even happened. We thought this would happen. Pete Rose and Joe Jackson are Hall of Fame eligible after they lifted the ban on. Yeah, that's a huge deal. I want to know what y'all think about that. I mean,
I just think they should have done it before Pete Rose passed away.
A lot of people are saying that. A lot of people are saying that.
It's a shame that he has to possibly go into the Hall of Fame, not being alive anymore. It's sad.
Yeah, I know. What do you three think as well?
Well, with the way sports gambling is today, this should have been done. I agree, a long time ago. I mean, he, for lack of a better term, he learned his lesson. And with all the sports gambling going on in every sport, why did it take so long?
Yeah,
I have a potentially, how do I say this, controversial take ahead. But the way I see it, I think Pete does deserve to go in spite of all the flaws that he had. I mean, the way I see it, gambling, well, compared to, say, steroid use is nothing, considering he was a very competitive guy. He had a win-at-all-costs mindset. He wasn't affecting his play on the field or his managerial skills, but with steroids, that's another story.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you there. So, Brandon, do you have anything else to say on it?
On Pete Rose?
Yeah, on the situation, Pete Rose.
I'm angry because I really felt that, Bud Selig, or even worse, Rob Manfred, should have forgiven him sooner. He absolutely should be in the Baseball Hall of Fame. He is arguably the greatest hitter in the history of baseball. And now if he's going to get in, we don't know. It's not a guarantee that he's still going to get into the Hall of Fame, but now he's going to be in there posthumously, and that's never the way it should have happened.
Yeah, I know. I understand. And a lot of people are saying that. A lot of people are saying that he should have been in sooner. He should have been while he's alive. And I agree with that. But I don't know what took MLB so long to do that decision. But that's them. I think they're kind of afraid that people will be angry and all that, and a lot of controversy behind the decision. But it is what it is. They finally got him unbanned off the ban list. So there's that. We'll see what happens down the road. We'll see when the next Hall of Fame voting comes in. Now it's time to go to our individual teams, and we'll start off Josh Salisbury. I'll go last as usual. So what's going on to the north side?
Well, the North Siders, they won their series against who did we just get? Miami. I still call them the Florida Marlins. We had a little trouble with the New York Mets, which, with Mets being one of the hotter teams in baseball right now, if any of y'all saw the games, we won one of those games, and the next two, they were just teeing off us, is the better way to put it. They were hitting home runs like every other batter, and I had to actually stop watching it at one point. I'm like, this is crazy. And I still think we're having a little trouble with our bullpen because we're having to dive deeper into that bullpen. And now we have Ian Happ out on the injured list with a strained oblique. And I really think these players need to start conditioning a little bit better. Not just the Cubs players, but you could avoid that stuff by just conditioning. So it's again, the little things are coming back to bite them in the butt, and they got to fix it. Yeah, they're winning series, but I don't think that's enough. You're at the top of the division. You want to stay there, and little mistakes are going to cost you in the end, especially against a team like the New York Mets.
All right, so that's it for the Cubbies, and for the Astros, Jesse, what you got for us?
Oh, for one thing, the Astros, they had I don't know if you remember, that big horrible game that Lance McCullers had against the Reds, which caused him to get death threats, and that I don't condone. You don't see Spurs fans, giving Greg Popovich death threats because he's no longer going to coach the team next year in the NBA. But I just think these fans should cool it down. He's human, at the end of the day. These athletes, basically put their bodies on the line, especially pitchers, because you never know when a ball's going to crack them upside the head or any part of their body, especially for the batters too. But the Astros have been, they won the first two games against the Reds, and then they had that almost blowout loss to the Reds, and then they beat the Royals 7-5, and they lost, and they beat the Royals 2-1, and they pretty much swept the Royals. Right now they lost just now. They just lost to the Texas Rangers, who are no longer at the top of the division. That goes to the Mariners. Wow, the Texas Rangers have fallen to third place. The Athletics almost dead even, and the Angels, well, they're 17-25. But the American League West is open for business, and teams are going to be vying for some playoff spots come October. No, come September, But that's it for my report.
All right. Okay, let's go to Brandon Jesus and the South Siders, the White Sox. What them boys up to, Brandon?
Yeah, so we just came off a 3-game set against the Reds. We lost today 7-1, but the good news is rather that we won our first road series of the year. We ended up taking 2 out of 3 from the Reds, who I think is a team that, could be sneaky good. I think they could maybe sneak into a wild card. They got Terry Francona as their manager. They got a lot of really talented players. They got some good pitching, really good bullpen. And yes, let's go Pope. Ever since the new Pope was elected, the Sox are now 4-2. And of course, it came out on the internet, him being at Game 2 of the 2005 World Series. And just very happy about knowing that he's a Sox fan, and all the news about him being the Pope, being from the city of Chicago. But now we are going into this weekend. The Crosstown Classic begins. All 3 games this weekend at 1:20 at Wrigley Field. The Sox will be taking on the Cubs, and then we come home for 6 games. Playing the AL West, we got the Mariners for 3, and then we got the Rangers for 3. And we're sitting right now at 14-30, which, hey, it's better than the Rockies, and that's all I can ask for.
Oh yeah.
Well, there's a little divine intervention to get the White Sox going, shall we say. Pope Leo coming to the rescue of the Southsiders. Thank you for that report, Brandon. Johnny Garfield, Johnny G, what's going on with the world champs and the Seattle Mariners?
Oh my goodness. First, the Mariners. Oh my goodness gracious. This past week was just very, very crazy. They went up against the Blue Jays and the Yankees and lost both series. They lost the first 2 games of the Blue Jays series by the same score, 6-3 and then 9-1. And then everything just went to pot against the Yankees, Although they did win Game 2 of the Yankees series, it's just that the third and final game of that one ended out in a heartbreaker. So they're going to be on the road for a little while, starting in San Diego. Their rivalry has a name, the Eddie Vedder Cup. Then it's on to the White Sox in Houston. And now for the Dodgers. Well, Kershaw's back. That's the good news. I mean, he'll be back on Saturday. And for many Dodger fans, it's going to be like, he's a sight for sore eyes lately. Their pitching has been kind of had their share of difficulties with the injuries and all. Shohei's pitching rehab has not gone as well as it should, although he's doing pretty well at the plate. The guy who so far has weathered the storm amongst the pitching rotation is Yamamoto. Hopefully, the return of Kershaw will shore up these things for the Dodgers. I mean, looking at the Mariners and the Dodgers, they have one thing in common thus far. Their pitching staff has seen lots of injuries ravaged to them. And I will add this. Given how things have been in the American League West, it's safe to say that division is very much up for grabs this year.
Yeah, I checked the standings of that one. Half game ahead of the Rangers. So Rangers they were World Series champs before, so getting dangerously close. So, and the Dodgers, I know they've been winning the storm, but they're the Dodgers that are defending World Series champs.
Oh yeah.
So when you're a title holder, you got a target on your back.
Indeed.
I noticed with my Celtics, they're having targets on their backs right now against the Knicks. But we're talking baseball, not basketball. But you get the idea. Speaking of Boston teams, I'll go for my. Is that it for your report for the Dodgers and Mariners there, Johnny G?
Yep, that concludes.
Okay, then I will get flowing with my team, the Red Sox. Well, after shutting out the Rangers 5-0 last week, and then you talk about the Royals, who've been a hot team. One of the teams in series contention for the wild card spot at the playoffs happened today. Royals beat the Red Sox on a walk-off, and the Red Sox bats came alive in Saturday, May the 10th, 10-1, then 3-1, and then we ran into a buzzsaw called the Detroit Tigers. How much of a buzzsaw we run into? Well, the first couple of games in the series, they outscored the Red Sox 24-11, 14-2 mollywopping, and then you got 10-9, and then the Tigers won on a walk-off in yesterday's game, and I gotta tell you, but I think only the one crazy highlight was the Wilyer Abreu Sadan Rafaela combined catch, which was totally crazy. And a lot of people are calling for Alex Cora's head for not bringing in Liam Hendricks for one of the games, probably yesterday's game, but he did come into the game, but unfortunately it was a little too late. So right now the Red Sox are still in second place. I believe, but they're a game under 500, but they're 4 games out of first. And who we got next? Well, Red Sox come back to Fenway, homestand against an interleague play. The Atlanta Braves and the Mets are coming into town for a 6-game homestand. Well, actually, a 10-game homestand because the Orioles will be coming in also for 4-gamer, and then they're going back on the road to end May and start June against the Brewers, the Braves once again, and then starting June the short 3-game homestand against the Angels, and then going back on the road against the Yankees for the very first time. So I'm going to be very interested to see what's going to happen. Okay, now we're looking at the weekly rival rundown. Asking what series should we look at for the MLB Rivals weekend schedule?
The Subway Series? I don't know.
Subway Series? Yeah, it could be. Subway Series, huh? We got interleague play, Nationals and Orioles. Interleague play against the Braves. Can't wait for that series. I mean, the Braves are not doing very well. Chris Sale has been shelled, I think, and all that good stuff. So, Angels Dodgers. That's another one. Oh, let's see. Mariners and Padres. That's going to be a heck of a fight. A heck of a battle. 2 Twins and Brewers. Of course, Brewers always. Cardinals, Royals, Nationals, Royals, Phillies, Pirates, Pennsylvania battle. Then you got the Chicago battle. Brandon and Josh, you guys gonna have a lot to talk about over the weekend.
It's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top because both teams are doing remarkably well at this point.
Yeah, you got the Cardinals and Reds battle of Ohio, and battle of Texas, Astros, Rangers. Jesse, you looking at that?
Yeah.
And we got, like I said, Johnny Garfield's 2 teams going at it. And Athletics and Giants usually battled by the Battle of the Bay. We're back to World Series 1989. So
This kind of sort of reminds me of what interleague play used to be like.
yeah, it's a Battle of the Bay. So other than Johnny, I obviously, like I said, Red Sox, Braves. We're looking at a lot of state battles. That's for sure. Battles of states. You got Rockies and Diamondbacks, battle of expansion teams there. I don't know. This ought to be interesting for sure. What do you think, Jesse?
I'm definitely gonna be watching tomorrow or whenever the Astros play again.
The Astros are playing against the Rangers.
Yeah, right now they lost, but I'm hoping they can bounce back next game.
Okay, and I know Brandon and Josh will watch the Chicago series. That's for sure.
Definitely.
And
Absolutely.
And I know, Johnny will be keeping an eye on the Dodgers, Angels, and Mariners, Padres.
Oh boy, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to watch the Red Sox, Braves. I love the interleague play. Interleague play is my favorite thing. Watching the national.
It used to be fun when the Astros were in the National League, and then the Texas Rangers were still in the West. When they weren't conference. I think it makes it more better now that they're in the same conference.
Yeah. We'll see what our teams can do. I know, some of our teams. I know the Red Sox are Jekyll and hiding on me a little bit as far as winning and losing, and then everybody complains about Alex Coronel. That we'll see what happens. I know, like I said, it's going to be, like I said, this baseball season is going to be very interesting. Looks like everything's up in the air at the moment. Right now. Well, it is time. It's 10:30, so I think it's time for us to sign off. So I want to thank Johnny Garfield, Jesse Ortiz, Josh, and Brendan DeJesus for coming in today to talk. We'll talk some baseball. I want to thank David St. Dennis for once again directing this, and we will. And this is Eric Lima signing off, and hopefully you hit one over the green monster for a homer. I'll see you later, guys. Have a wonderful, blessed night. Good night, everybody.
Take care, guys.
Good night.